Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Sitting down here in the office looking at some recruiting news, a possible commitment at Tennessee. We're going to get into that, but I was reading an article from Chad Simmons, and he was talking about who could be the next to commit for Tennessee. And we look at where they're at in the rankings right now, sitting just inside the top 15. They're currently 14th, according to the On3 industry rankings. And I get it. I know, I understand that's not good enough. And I told you guys that June and July was going to be big for Tennessee, and I think we still have an opportunity for a big summer. Some of the names that Chad Simmons mentioned in his article: Marion Dye, a four-star edge rusher that's in town right now, looking like a decision in July. Tennessee is very much in a good spot there. He talked about in his article Isaiah Gibson, the potential for Tennessee to flip Isaiah Gibson. I felt pretty confident about it going into the weekend, but he went back to Georgia. He took that visit back to Georgia this weekend, so we'll see where Tennessee's at. He mentions David Sanders, Josh Petty, Juan Gaston as Tennessee having a legitimate shot there. We're going to get into David Sanders here in just a minute. Talks about Travis Smith, Shady Hayward, Jaden Perlotti, and Christian Gash, Shakai Mills-Knight. Just some of the names that Chad Simmons is throwing out there that could be next for Tennessee, and those are some elite prospects, and I think we're going to see Tennessee start to climb into the top 10, maybe even, dare I say, the top 5 as we move throughout the month of July. But let's talk about who's in town right now for official visits. We kind of talked about this throughout the course of the week. Douglas Utu was here for his official visit. Travis Smith is one that I'm keeping an eye on. 4-star wide receiver. You can see there the On3 industry recruiting prediction machine has him trending heavily towards Georgia. Well, it sounds like Georgia not so much in the mix. Sounds like Alabama kind of creeping in there. Tennessee, Alabama, which I like when we're talking about Travis Smith, because he's a guy that it was going to be tough to get out of the state of Georgia. So if he's not going to stay home and play for the Georgia Bulldogs, I like where Tennessee's at. Looking to see who they're going to pair with Joakim Dotson and Rodarius Jackson in this class of 25 at the wide receiver position. We go on down. Look who else. Shady Hayward is here. He's a guy that's kind of riding the wave, the emotional highs. I think Tennessee going to swing that momentum back in their favor coming out of this official visit. Onus Conanbanny is an interesting one. He's a guy that, going throughout the course of the visit process, coming out of 865 Live, he called Tennessee the clear-cut leader, and then he took a visit to Florida State, and then he turned and said, no, Florida State is the leader. Kind of went silent from there and hasn't really talked a whole lot about his recruitment. This is from an article at 247 Sports. Said a rising senior at Heathwood Hall Episcopal School in Columbia, South Carolina. Conanbanny visited Tennessee twice last year, was back in Knoxville early April to attend one of the spring practices, and then named them the leader after the 865 Live event on May the 25th. Said he returned to Tennessee again June the 6th for the Vols 7-on-7 tournament, but his official visit to Florida State the weekend of May the 31st moved the Seminoles to the top of the list. Said UNC has solidified its standing as one of the top contenders for him during his official visit with the Tar Heels the following weekend. Goes on to say after the LSU visit last weekend, 6'1", 180-pound Conanbanny, who was originally from France, also spent time in London. Now we'll take an in-depth look at Tennessee to wrap up this month of official visits. Now, there is a thread on VolQuest that says that Braylon Staley went live on Instagram last night, and Onus Conanbanny committed to Tennessee on that live stream. Now, the kid's not made it official. Austin Price pretty much confirmed it and said, yes, he did. Now we have to sit back. We have to be patient. We have to wait for Onus Conanbanny to officially commit to Tennessee, but that is huge news for the Vols if they can lock down the 4-star corner. You see he's just outside the top 300 at 325th nationally. He would be the third corner committed in this class for Tennessee, along with Dylan Lewis, a 3-star corner out of Georgia, and then also Tyler Redmond, another 3-star corner out of Georgia. But what about David Sanders? He's the big fish. He's the one we're keeping an eye on. I feel like he's trending to Tennessee. Is he a Vol lock? You got to hold off Ohio State. Taking the official visit to Ohio State this weekend. We got an interesting picture we're going to take a look at, but I need you guys to do me a favor. The YouTube stuff, smash the thumbs up just below the video. It's quick, it's free, it's easy, it helps this channel, and I would greatly appreciate it. Also, if you are new to the Talkin VAWLS Network, welcome. We're not experts here. We're not insiders. We're not media. We don't break news. We talk about the news. We speculate. We talk about the rumors. We do what fans do right here on this channel, for the fans, by the fans. If you like what we do, make sure you subscribe, click that bell for notifications. You're not going to miss out when we go live or when we drop a video. Going live in just a few hours for the baseball game. It's win or go home for the Tennessee baseball team and the college College World Series Finals. We're going to do a watch party, so come hang out for that. And then Tuesday night, we're playing NCAA football, talking all things ball football. Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time this week, we're going to do another recruiting live stream. So let's talk a little bit about David Sanders. Again, I think he's the guy, I've said it multiple times, that some of us are going to base the success or the failure of Josh Heupel in this class of 2025, but he's a priority target, a 5-star, number 2 overall player in the country. So all these people that like to float around the internet, Twitter, the comment section of YouTube and talk about how Josh Heupel can't sign 5 stars. You forget about Mike Matthews, you forget about Jordan Ross, you forget about Nico and George McIntyre and all the elite talent that Josh Heupel has signed since arriving in Knoxville. And David Sanders is another one where he's going to have that possibility to sign a legitimate, this is a blue chipper, guys. This is the number 2 ranked player in the country. And we also look at Glenn Ellerbe and what he's done recruiting on the offensive line and how he missed on those first couple of cycles. And saw a lot of people saying Glenn Ellerbe should be on the hot seat. Josh Heupel's friendship, his relationship with Glenn Ellerbe is going to cost him in the SEC. But I think if Glenn Ellerbe can come in here and land David Sanders in this class, you just landed Nick Moore. You got Big Ant on the interior. I think you have an opportunity to start to build this offensive line. And, some people don't want to give Glenn Ellerbe or Josh Heupel credit for going and getting Lance Hurd in the portal. That's a 5-star offensive tackle. The kid's going to be a sophomore. You pair him with David Sanders, and let's go. And then you look at the class of 24, right? Last cycle, adding Bennett Warren, adding Max Anderson, William Satterwhite, Gage Ginther's a guy that this coaching staff and a lot of former players are really high on. We had Kyler Kirbyson on the show, and he was high on Gage Ginther. I think Kyler Kirbyson knows something about playing offensive line in the SEC. So if Kyler likes him, I like him. And now you're starting to see, if you can stack that 24 class with this class of 2025, now all of a sudden your offensive line is becoming a strength. And we've got the quarterbacks, right? You've got Nico, you've got George, you're working on Brandon. I think Josh Heupel is never going to have a problem getting a quarterback at the University of Tennessee. But where is Tennessee at with David Sanders? Obviously, he is a guy that has been around campus, got the great relationship with George McIntyre. Some of the industry insiders are calling Tennessee the favorite. Steve Wiltfong, also Chad Simmons, put out an update last night, said the Vols are and have been high on his list. Sanders is close to George McIntyre, the leader of Tennessee's class, and Tennessee is competing against Georgia and Ohio State late in the process. Sanders has talked about committing in August, but he is not ruling out a decision next month. The buzz has consistently been strong around the Vols. Now, he's on his trip to Ohio State. Let's go take a look at a picture. Is David Sanders trolling? Is he trolling the Ohio State fan base? Let's go take a look at the picture. Shout out George McIntyre, our 5-star quarterback. You can see there the picture of David Sanders there. You see what he's doing? See what he's doing with his hand? Looks to me like he's making that Vol sign, that VOL sign. And so, some of the Ohio State fans, they're hilarious. They're going to come in, they're make their stupid jokes, they're going to make their stupid comments. They're going to call us crazy that we don't know what we're talking about, that David Sanders is off to Ohio State. George McIntyre knows what David Sanders is doing. Coach Rice knows what David Sanders is doing. And if you rewind time, you go back to Christian Conyer, one of the top players out of the state of Kentucky, when he was visiting. He was going back to Kentucky visiting, but there was a lot of buzz that he was trending to Tennessee in a visit with the Kentucky Wildcats. He threw up that VOL sign. And so call me what you will. George McIntyre says throwing up the Vol sign on an official visit to Ohio State is crazy. And then he tags David Sanders. So I thought this was funny. I thought it was worth talking about. Wanted to jump on here and make a quick recruiting video because I truly believe that the stock for Tennessee is starting to go up. Deshaun Brame coming off the board next Saturday. Onus Konanbanny apparently has committed. There's no video footage. The live stream is no longer available. Austin Price all but confirmed it. So if we've got Onus Konanbanny in the boat, if we can get David Sanders in the boat, who is next? All the names I rattled off at the top of the video, Tennessee has a very legitimate shot at landing. But do me a favor, guys. Let's talk about it in the comment section. What are your thoughts on David Sanders? Did anybody see the live stream of Braylon Staley that had Onus Konanbanny committing? Put it in the chat. I would love to see you guys. Let's talk about it As always, do me a favor, smash the thumbs up on the way out the door. You guys can go check out the official Talkin VAWLS merchandise. You can go to bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. Any and all support, greatly appreciated. Also, shout out to the members of the channel. If you got a power T beside your name, we appreciate the support. If not, you can fix that. Hit the join button. It's right over there beside subscribe. You can do it for $1 a month. You can also give a little bit more. We have fan call-in shows that start at the Talkin VAWLS Elite level. We're about to have a watch party here in a couple of hours for that baseball game. The watch party enthusiast here. You guys have the opportunity to come on, hang out, watch the baseball game with myself, Coach Jay, Coach Rice. X Factor is going to be in the house, so come join us live at 2 p.m. Eastern time. But that is going to do it for this one. Appreciate you guys tuning in. This is the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name's Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.